The situation in hospitals is finally improving as more COVID-19 beds are getting freed up in Metro Manila. Despite this, the OCTA research team is pushing for an extension of the MECQ in the capital region. Some hospitals are still short on manpower as more nurses opt to leave the country amid the pandemic. The health department claims vaccine confidence has improved among Filipinos. And miss the Oscars? Don't worry, because we've got you covered.
And the Oscar goes
Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know as you jumpstart your day. And I'm Charles Lejano. Hospital beds and ICU utilization rates are finally improving in Metro Manila with barely a week left into the MECQ. Just how will this affect the next quarantine classification in the region? Greg Gregorio reports.
More hospital beds in Metro Manila are getting freed up. Add to that, hospitals allotting more beds. Over the past week, utilization of ICU beds in NCR has dropped by 10%.
We have expanded the beds for ICU. Medyo malaki yung naidagdag ng Tala Hospital na na-convert nila into ICU beds. Aside from that, we can see naman na the cases are declining, although we can still see that challenge in our hospitals right now.
Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere noted how the 7-day moving average of daily new cases is now at 9,500 from 10,800 the previous week. OCTA research team is noting the same. NCR's reproduction number, or R0, is down to 0.93 from April 18 to 24. Before ECQ was reimposed, R0 was at 1.90. But this does not leave any room for complacency. The DOH is carefully discussing the next quarantine classification for NCR once MECQ lapses on April 31st. 3 scenarios have been recommended by experts. Extend MECQ for the whole month of May. Second, scale down to GCQ starting May 16. Or jump straight to GCQ come May 1. If it were up to the DOH, current restrictions should be extended.
Para po mas magkaroon pa ng pahinga o mas magkaroon pa ng decongestion ng ating healthcare system.
dahil nga nakikita naman natin na hindi pa naluwag ang ating health systems capacity, lalo na ang ICU critical care. Personally, it is an extension of the current MECQ. By another week, 4 na araw pa, to establish if there is a continuing downward trend in the number of new cases.
Presidential spokesperson Harry Roque has assured that IATF will decide based on science and hard data. It will balance attack rate and hospital care utilization rate with the country's economic health.
Meron tayong mga assessment na dapat gawin at itong mga assessment na ito ay kinakailangan magbigay po ng kasagutan ang mga lokal na pamahalaan para masiguro naman na hindi din masayang yung ating halos 1 buwan ng lockdown.
President Duterte is set to announce the new quarantine status of the country in his public address on Wednesday. For News 5, Greg Gregorio, we are One News.
The UP OCTA research team says it will take some time before the country sees its average daily cases returning to the 2,000 levels. OCTA research team member Guido David says the current average stands at 3,500, and that's just for NCR.
Malaki namang in-improvement kasi umabot tayo sa level na we were averaging 5,500 per day average. And yung peak natin, 8,000 nga in one day. Nagkaroon tayo ng 8,000 cases sa NCR. Ngayon, 3,500. We're hoping na kung mag-continue itong trajectory, in about 2 weeks, baka nasa 2,000 cases tayo per day sa NCR.
But an average of 2,000 daily cases in NCR still translates to about 7,000 total cases nationwide. This is why the OCTA is appealing for an extension of the MECQ in the NCR plus bubble. David adds that any easing of restrictions must be done gradually, since the current downtrend is still unstable. That means some localities are still seeing slight upticks in cases, although there is a general improvement in the virus's reproduction rate.
Yung OCTA research group, ang recommendation is to extend the MECQ for maybe at least 2 weeks. Ako personally, if kasi syempre, decision naman ito ng IATF and they will balance yung public health, yung perspective ng from the Department of Health and yung public health perspective and yung economy, because ang recommendation ko lang, at least if that's the case na gagawin na balancing, if we open restriction or ease restrictions, let's do it gradually and calibrated para at least yung hindi natin luluwagan yung mga high-risk activities that could lead to a possible outbreak.
Despite the recent improvement in bed capacity, one other issue that the government needs to address is the lack of manpower. This as most nurses prefer to leave the country due to worsening work conditions in the Philippines. Jenny Dawn with the story.
Not only is Metro Manila a new territory for Nurse Dindo, this is the first time that the summer local is handling severe COVID-19 cases. He is one of several volunteer healthcare workers from the Visayas redeployed to NCR. He has been assigned at the Philippine Heart Center.
Also in our institution that we say no one should be left behind. So andito kami para tumulong, ipadama sa kanila na hindi sila nag-iisa.
Other nurses have improvised ways to help their patients recover, including Alex, who filled latex gloves with lukewarm water to provide a semblance of human touch for a patient fighting for her life.
Hindi makapagsalita na ma-intubate siya eh. So, nagsulat na lang siya. Sabi niya, sa sulat niya, maraming salamat sa ginawa mo mga delivery, Alex.
2 nurses also went viral after a photo of them not being inside a hospital room was shared online. The 2 were taking a quick rest after a long day of disinfecting rooms and transporting patients, among others. For a nurses group, working conditions must improve. Filipino Nurses United is again calling on the government to respond to demands of healthcare workers, including the release of benefits and salaries. The group wants a mass hiring of additional healthcare workers, especially nurses.
Ang recommendation namin ay 1 nurse to 3 patients kasi kahit sa ngayon ang reality kasi 1:12, yung iba 1:15.
Andamo said that most Filipino nurses now prefer to leave the country due to a higher pay and benefits.
Sobrang hirap na nga ng trabaho mo, buwis buhay, tapos wala pa yung mga pinapangakong benepisyo, napakababa ng sahod ng majority ng nurses dahil lalo na sa pribado, no?
In a meeting last month, Health Secretary Francisco Duque promised to act on concerns raised by health workers. For News 5, Jenny Dongon, BR1 News.
Meanwhile, the health department insists that based on their observations, vaccine confidence among Filipinos has increased. In an interview with 1PHS sa Totoo Lang, Health Undersecretary Maria Rosario Vergere said that even health workers who refused to get vaccinated before are now lining up for immunization. Vergere hopes that this will continue so that more members of the vulnerable sector will be encouraged to get inoculated. But despite targeting to have more people vaccinated, the official said that she does not favor mandatory vaccination.
Kailangan natin balikan na ito pong mga bakunang ito hindi pa po siya tapos or it's in the developmental stage. Pero pinayagan po natin gamitin dahil the benefits outweigh the risk. So having said that, binibigyan po natin ng karapatan ang bawat mamamayan na mamili kung gusto niyang tanggapin o hindi tanggapin ang bakuna na ito.
Scaled down as it was, this year's Oscars had an air of defiance after a year of award show cancellations. Even the list of winners had Asians reclaiming the narrative amid their current political situation. MJ Marfori with the details.
Against the backdrop of a rise in Asian hate crimes, Asians won big at this year's Oscars. Starting off with fan favorite recession-era tale Nomadland. It won Best Picture with China native director Chloe Zhao taking top honors. She is only the second woman in the Oscars history to win the category. Film singer-songwriter Her Meanwhile, won Best Original Song. For the Judas and the Black Messiah soundtrack, Fight For You. Her, born Gabriela Sarmiento Wilson, dedicated the victory to Black and Filipino girls.
Me just being up there is a message. It's a message to all the young Black and Filipino girls, Black or Filipino, that you can be up here too.
Yoon Jing won Best Supporting Actress for immigration drama Minari. Yoon is the first South Korean actress to have won the award. In one of the ceremony's funniest moments, Yoon gushed over Hollywood star Brad Pitt as she accepted her trophy.
Finally, nice to meet you. Where were you while we were filming?
For News 5, MJ Marfori, we are One News.
And that's how the day is shaping up to be. Join us again later at 10 a.m. as we monitor the day's biggest stories from sunrise to sundown. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register for a free account now at www.signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime and anywhere. I'm Charles Lejano. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.